Hello, how you doing? My name is Michael Garced, and I will be doing the self-evaluation on public speaking. And I just go start off by first saying I was a little nervous because I never took a public speaking class before. I never had any prior experience or anything like that. But the funny thing is, I feel comfortable with my communication skills with people. Yeah, I was prior to this class, I was a little nervous. I never performed in front of people at all. But the thing is, I think in my introduction, my first time talking to somebody, I think I did really well. I made sure I kept good eye contact. My body language was secure. I felt real comfortable because at the end of the day, it was about myself, and I was just letting people know who I was. I think my persuasive speech I didn't do so well because I had, I think, a little too much information and not enough time on the slides. I just wasn't flow. It wasn't, had no kind of flow. I kept looking at the cards more than looking at the audience, and I didn't think I did really well on that. On the other hand, my professional speech that I delivered, I thought it was really good. I made sure my eye contact was well. I made sure I was loud enough. I didn't look at my slides at all. I made sure everybody could hear me, and it was awesome because I enjoyed it on the artist I chose, which was 50 Cent. As I mentioned, I felt I have really great body language on that, and I think that's what the best part about my speech and what kind of engaged everybody was when I showed them this about like 45-second video clip. And once everybody started laughing, I took the opportunity, like, oh, I've engaged the audience now. Here's where now I have I can have all their ears and their attention now. So that one turned out really well. I enjoyed looking for information, so when I presented, I knew what I was talking about. I did practice the night before for that. Um, I was a little nervous, but I ran through it just the night before. I ran through it in my mind just to make sure it was okay, and it actually turned out well. My persuasive speech, on the other hand, I studied for that. I tried. I practiced that a lot, but it just still didn't come out well. I felt more nervous for that speech more than any speech because because I had to make a case in point on my thesis, and I felt I was too biased on one side, and it was a mess. That one actually could have came out a lot better than what I thought it would be. It was too much information. But I did practice that a few times. My professional speech was probably, the one I liked the most. That was probably my favorite because I did on somebody I look up to, so that was great. Again, the persuasive one was that one I didn't like too much. That one I didn't mind doing the information on. I mean, it was a lot of information, but it was just I did really bad on that, I think. During all the presentations I've had, I never had any technical difficulties. Luckily, everything went through smoothly. I didn't make sure I had too much media going on for that to happen in case. I made sure I was really swift with that. So I was lucky. One of the biggest things I wanted to go for when I was presenting my speeches was to make sure I sounded really clear. I was articulate. You can hear the words, you can hear what I'm saying. I didn't muffle or mumble anything, and I made sure I wanted everybody to hear me. And one thing I wanted to touch up on was when Miss McGee was always taught about make sure you look at everybody. You at least make eye contact one time with everybody in the audience. So I made sure I would try to do that. Make sure I would look at everybody. Um, Another thing would be I'd always make sure the flow of my presentation was good. That my points were valid. I made sure I didn't want to come up with anything that was completely one sided. I made sure I had a pro and a con about it. The things I learned about people's speeches, they were amazing. People felt the same kind of pressure I did, anxiety to stand up and perform in front of all these people, and they did really well, and a lot of good information and a lot of different views because this class had so many people with different majors, so you got all these different opinions, and it was good. I really enjoyed this class. I would rate myself from a 1 to 4, maybe a 3, a 3.5. I think I did pretty well. I know I could do better. I could definitely work on trying to put a little bit less more information, and make my points more valid. But other than that, I love this class, and I want to thank Miss McGee for her grade, her gracious grading, and her positive motivation on everybody's speech and how everybody did good. And thank you. Have a nice evening.